Howdy folks, Cameron here again for some blendering footage right here on Country Fried Shorts. Today I'm sharing some footage of my recent work in prepping a tool in everyone's favorite free-to-use 3D modeling tool. My latest paint up requires caution stripes across the front faces of their hex bases, and since I'm absolutely terrible at getting consistency in this specific type of detail, I've made a rig to clip on my bases and make stippling on matching stripes an absolute breeze. I always hears that it's good to work smarter, not harder, and this is exactly what I had in mind when putting this thing into practice. That said, my original stripes rig was made for an older base that I have since abandoned for my current hex base made to match the Catalyst bevel angles. Now that I'm using a slightly different shape, my original guide tool don't fit this base bevel anymore. So we're here back again, tossing some models in and slapping a Boolean modifier to create needed changes on an object which we're working with. We've simply imported the old stripes guide into our software along with the new base and moved that base into the base-to-base contact with the work shelf of our base striking guide, and then we slap on a Boolean modifier to make a hard cut out of our once wrongly beveled guide object in the shape of our now correctly positioned, correctly beveled edge, ensuring that the paint and rig will cleanly snap right on the correct base without resistance or misalignment. One thing to remember when doing stuff like this though is to double check the Boolean settings to ensure that your modifier executes correctly. Getting your clean cuts is sometimes a matter of ensuring that you have the self-intersection or hole tolerant options turned on to avoid any strange cuts in the geometry. It's always wise to double check as you go through your process to avoid any problematic faces sticking into internal spaces or out of place vertices and edges living on the extant faces of your intended final product. Nothing worse than finishing a long project in Blender and exporting it to your printer only to find out the geometry broke 2 hours in and you just wasted an entire day sitting around with your thumb stuck in your paper tube holder only to see